Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and it's time to unhaul some books. That being said, it is the end of the year, so it's time to get rid of things that are on my shelf that no longer serve me for whatever reason. Either that I just have no desire to read it, I've read it and I didn't like it, or it actually is something that just was gifted to me, or I wind up picking it up on a whim and I realize I'm doing this because everybody else wants it. Everyone else likes it, but it's not really my vibe. That being said, know that at any given moment, you need to reassess what you're reading, get rid of the things that you don't, send it to a good home, whether that's a free library, or get your money back by trying to sell it, because there is someone that will want what you have that you don't like, and vice versa. I have broken these up into categories. So we're going to start with the first category, which is paranormal romance, starting with Blood Moon by Gillian Graves. Now, I have read this, did not like it, gave it a 2-star. This is the thing about this particular novella. I read this for Novellathon about 2 years ago, thinking that I would love it. It is a witch and a vampire. They are rivals. They both own a bar across the street from one another. She is being pushed out by his business. She didn't know it at the time, and it was a one-night stand. All of that sounds my road, my vibe, my alleyway. This cover is giving all of the vibes. However, the inside of this book gave me nothing. Gave me nothing that I thought I was signing up for. I kept it because it was gifted, and I realized you've done your job. You've read it. It wasn't for you. Set it free. Now, the next set of books, this is a trilogy that I picked up because everyone and their mother, sister, cousin loved it when it was very, very popular. However, I just got around to reading book 1 in the series, and I realized this is overhyped, and I don't like it. That is going to be the Souls trilogy. I tried to read Her Soul to Take for spooky season, and I was like, this is what y'all were raving about? It's giving me nothing. I got about 30% of the way through this, and I was like, I do not care. I do not care what happens to the FMC. I do not care if the MMC gets free. I do not care about the backstory of how he was chained up as a demon. I don't care about any of it. And if I don't care about it at the start of this book, I know I'm not going to care about it in books 2 and 3. So I will be unhauling Her Soul to Take, The Soul of a Witch, and Her Soul for Revenge. Another reason why is because these two are indies and this is the traditional published, and I believe this one is actually book 2. And the thing that really irritates me about it is that while the covers match, this one has that ugly sticker. They are not the same size, and the color of the pages are different. You can see that this is visibly larger than these two. And if it's one thing I hate is when not only do the books in this series not necessarily match, but I also don't really care for them. I would excuse this if it was a series that I love. I have Elizabeth Stevens special editions and her traditional editions for Very's Mate series, and none of the covers match. I'm okay with that because I love them. I do not love these, so I don't have to turn a blind eye to y'all not matching. So either way, this is leaving my bookshelves. The next set of things I'm going to be talking about is dark romance. Now, this book thought I was going to love. I loved book 1 and book 2 in the series, so I already came in thinking I would love book 3, especially because I believe this is most people's favorite in the series. However, I tried to read it for spooky season as well. Hated it. That is going to be Moonstruck by Eileen James. This is the third. Like I said, this is the oldest brother, Atticus. I thought I was going to enjoy this because it is 2 serial unalivers finding each other over their shared mark. And them oh, you do this. I do this. Maybe we should do this together. I was like, okay, yes, bet. No. Poor bet. I would have lost that bet because I did not like this. Atticus is not who I thought he was going to be. Again, he is the oldest in the Mulvaney series. What surprised me is that he doesn't really like being in the family business, which is fine. Everybody's, moral compass works a little bit different. And it's not the fact that he is like morally, I don't like this, because again, he is a psychopath. And so it's not that he's like, yeah, this is wrong, I don't want to do it. No, he's like, I don't like getting my hands messy. I actually don't like getting involved with the family business. I'm going to leave it to my now insta-love boyfriend to take care of. Which, again, would be fine if he didn't just say like, oh yeah, I'll let you do all of the things and I'll just sit and watch. Sir, you could be doing anything better with your time. Actually, y'all both could be doing anything better with your time, like solving the mystery. Jericho, which is the love interest, Jericho's sister is unalived, and they should be looking to see who did it, right? Like, that is the entire plot. And one thing I love about the Necessary Evil series is that, like, the plot and the mystery and the way in which it shows the corruption and the evilness of humans, like, you are very much aligned and be like, oh yeah, these people need to be wiped from the face of the earth. Let's go track them down. Let's go figure out down the rabbit hole what's going on. These two in this book could care less about really solving her murder. They're more aligned with, oh, let's bone every 2 seconds. And baby, I love smut just as much as the next reader. However, can y'all not? Can y'all really just take 2 seconds up off of each other to do what needs to be done and solve the case? Like, again, it was so many things about this that I was just like, really, Anli, this is what we decided to do with our time? And again, it burns me because I love the first 2 books in the series. But I think the series, as what I'm told, gets progressively worse. And I feel like the train stops here with me. And this is one that I will not be continuing reading, nor will I be continuing on with the series. This next dark romance was not one of my choosing. It was on my shelf because I had purchased a mystery box. And I got all of the things that I originally wanted in the mystery box. However, they gave me a little bit extra. And which I am appreciative and grateful of. It's really more of a no thank you. That's going to be Pam Godwin's Dead of Eve. Now, again, this is a special edition. This is by Dark and Disturbed. I am interested in Pam Godwin. I have never read from her before. I do have a number of her books on my shelves. This just isn't going to be the one for me. One, because it's a dystopian romance. Like, never has that been my vibe. Like, when I'm a lot of things, but a dystopian girly, I am not. This one also has to be like, she is the only woman. Like, Eve is the only woman. And I can get the like play, right, on the name Eve, right? Eve was the first woman, now she's the last woman. I get it. However, you mean to tell me she's stuck on planet Earth with all of these horn dog men that have gone through and cannot find anything better to do with their time because like civilization has wasted away, and now she has to deal with them? That doesn't sound like my vibe. I believe this is also one of Pam's, if not her first body of work, one of her first body of works. This is also have a horror element to it. And I just don't think that speaks to me. While I am grateful that I received this copy, I do know that it's at least probably a series, and I only have this one in the series, and I already don't want to read it, so it's time to get it off of my shelf. So, I appreciate Dark and Disturbed for giving it to me, but it's gotta go. The next 2 are forbidden romances. The first one being The Worst Kept Secret by QB Tyler. I realized this was on my 25 for 25, and I just kept pushing it off because I could not care less. I wanted to read this because one of my homegirls really enjoys QB, and she really enjoys this book, and she's like, if you're gonna give one a try, give one a try, and give it this one. Now, I have read from QB before, and the premise typically always sounds good, but this one, however, actually I don't care. The girl is in love with her best friend's father, right? Hang on with me. That sounds intriguing. Best friend is a man, best friend is also in love with her. So it's really a love triangle, which already is not one of my tropes. I just filmed tropes that I hate, books that I love, or something like that's from the title. This was never going to be on that list because love triangle can only be done in certain instances, but usually it's when I care, and I do not care for this one because I feel like she's going to be with both men and father and son. And while I am also in that age range where I could go either way, I also don't want to deal with my best friend and potentially break our romance, like our friendship up, knowing that he loves me and I have no interest in him, but I'm really seeking his father. Let's let the mess go. Not interested. I am also not interested in Sweet Dandelion. I picked this one up because a booktuber that I followed really loved this book. It is like one of her top favorite reads of all time. But I just realized I'm really not interested. Generally, I thought that I could be because this is a heavier book. This centers a girl who is still in high school, which probably is one of my reasons that I'm not interested, getting involved with her high school counselor. Now granted, she has been held back a year because of the incident that happened, so she technically should be graduated, but we're not going off of technicalities here. She's still in high school. She's still too young for you because it didn't matter if she was 18 and out of high school. I'm assuming that there's already an age gap, and it's of no interest to me. So it's gotta go. The next set are white shoes or reverse harem romances, and typically that has been my vibe. This month is December, so if anytime, this would be the time I want to read it because it is a Christmas novella or a holiday romance, and I could care less. That's going to be Tangled and Tinsel by Trelina Pucci. This one is workplace, and the next set of tropes I have is workplace romance. And again, I could make a video out of this, but I don't want to. I was gifted this copy, and while it seems like it's going to be a smutty good time, it's 3 guys or 4 guys and 1 girl. They all work together. They tell her she's got to be theirs, and they're like grumpy. Sounds like something I would want. Unfortunately, not calling my attention. So we'll be giving this one up. As well as I will be giving up Kate or Hate by Tate James. This is, I want to say it's the Kate, that's what it is. Madison Kate Danvers. So it's the Madison Kate series. The title is Hate, and it's by Tate James. That's a mouthful right there. Like, this is alliteration to, or not alliteration, it is rhyming to the core, and somehow that's how my brain is working. Either way it goes, this is a reverse harem. I wanted to say that it was a motorcycle romance, but it may not be. Either way, it is bully, and usually I'm not a bully fan, and I don't know why I got this one. Again, very much was probably because it was hyped at one time. I just don't want to read it. So, it's going. Nextly, again, we talked about workplace romances, and I've got 2 for that. Tempt Me by K.A. Tucker. I actually saw this author last year at a Polycon and had every intent of reading this. Had already had it on my shelves because I heard it was really, really good. It is the Wolf Hotel series. I do not have the rest in the series. This is a workplace romance where she is escaping her ex-boyfriend, goes to work at this hotel. The owner takes interest in her, and yada, yada, yada. No. And then lastly, one that I thought that I was so interested in, which is going to be an MM romance. This is The Intern, where the male main character is his boss, and he's getting this intern, and he's like, oh, I'd actually like for you to work for me, but in a different fashion. I'm not hearing the best about this particular book. I do know this is our first MM, but I don't want to take that shot. I don't want to take that chance. And really right now, workplace romance has not been hitting like I thought it was. And so, like, I'm actually turned off by the genre a little bit, or the trope a little bit. And that's just leads me to believe, oh yeah, get rid of this while you're at it. Like, if you're already not in the mood, let it go. The last and final set of books. Oh, sorry, that's not true. I have 6 Crimson Cranes. This is a YA story that I am not interested in. Now, the last and final set of books are Book of the Month choices. Only one I've read from. So the one that I have read from but don't feel the need to keep is going to be Sign Here by Claudia Lux, I want to say. Read this a few years ago. It was middle of the road. Very meh, but intriguing plot. Like, I would tell you, if you're interested and you haven't picked it up, give it a whirl. This one is about a demon who is serving out his time. He has been contracted to get souls for this one particular family line, and he is at his last and final family member. However, he's not really sure if he's ready to close the deal on this contract because of this particular family member he is selected. So again, very interesting concept, but just not something that I want to read from again. And then last four, like I said, are things I haven't read from and that have no interest. Keeper of Night. This was one that not a lot of people have talked about. This is a fantasy romance. Not interested. How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. I have other K.M. Jackson books that I want to read. However, this is not one. This one is a Friends to Lovers romance where she is 40 chasing after Keanu, who is supposed to be getting married. And I'm like, girl, you're too old to be acting this childish. So I don't want to read this. I don't want to read Pachinko. This is a stunning, beautiful edition. I've heard really great things about this family saga that spans the test of time because it has different generations in which we're following. However, if I do want to read, or if I want to immerse myself into this particular book, I would say I'd probably pick up and watch the Apple TV adaptation of it because this is pretty thick. And I have no interest in it. I was keeping it because it's a very pretty cover, but that's not a reason. Last and final book is Kaeki. I've heard nothing but good things from the people that I do follow that I have read this. It's just never appealed to me. This one is a fantasy where the female main character as a child was imbued with like goddess-like strength, and she is righting some wrongs and have done some things on behalf of her family. However, it's never appealed to me. So again, holding on to these, even to film a video of like, let me read Book of the Month choices when I gave up Book of the Month about a year ago and haven't looked back since, just means that you're holding on to it for the wrong reasons. And you ultimately may not like the story because you feel like you've been forced to read it. So that being said, that is all the books that I am sending off. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Leave me some sort of jewelry emoji. Kaeki has a lot of jewels, and you will see that this one, Pachinko, has plenty of jewels on it as well. So do me a favor. Leave me some sort of like diamond emoji or some sort of jewel emoji. Tell me what book you've been meaning to get off of your shelves because you just know that you won't read it and it's finally time. Tell me, commit to it, make it happen, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.